Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, June 1st, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. We have a TFCC call tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, Day of Reckoning. The mind is our servant, not our master. We are the commander and not the slave. The moment we choose to step away from the perpetual thinking machine, we free ourselves from its tight grip. If the mind is your master, send it love. There's roughly about 10 causes of enlightenment. Enlightenment is the moment when the wave realizes that it's the water. Enlightenment is the moment when the wave realizes that it is the water. Thich Nhat Hanh. Enlightenment is not something that can be given to you. Whatever that has been given to you can also be taken away from you. So you must choose to find this great spiritual liberation within yourself. That's the first step, going within. Learn how to cultivate its presence in your life. Because we are all the masters of it all in the end. We are all the masters of it all in the end. Our enlightenment is destined to find us in this lifetime or the next. It is on its way. We simply choose to get out of the way and understand how to receive it. When the mind stops all searching in the outer for fulfillment and finally comes to relax home in your very core, the realization is discovered that enlightenment was always there, just buried deep within your being. All of us experience suffering in life because of one thing: ignorance. If you take the word ignore, okay, add a little dance to it, you get ignorance. When we ignore the truth of our infinite being, our ignorance expands and soon transfers us into the path of suffering. To transcend our ignorance and find spiritual freedom in our lives again, the intention for a deeper awareness is needed. So the awareness is needed to transcend the illusion and rediscover the liberating truth of who we are. Nothing more than pure awareness is needed to transcend this illusion and rediscover the liberating truth of who we are. By simply opening up to our own consciousness, we can release anything instantly that would make us suffer. Each moment of our lives has the potentiality to become the most liberating, healing, enlightening experience we can handle. The more open, ready, and willing we are to receive something magnificent, the easier and faster the magic comes flooding in. When you are ready for enlightenment, it will find you. You don't have to strive for it. In fact, the harder you work for it, the further it moves away from you. Just make it your priority to totally relax and enjoy your life. Fully surrender to your real self. Explore who you truly are, what you really want, and what your purpose on this earth actually is on a spiritual level. Now, the following information that I'm going to share is deeply transforming when applied daily to your life. Using these suggestions each day will take you closer to tasting the awesome experience of spiritual enlightenment. This great enlightened experience is a massive shift in consciousness. So go easy on yourself. You may have been trying to wake up for a really, really, really long time, possibly lifetimes. And the Great Awakening can come suddenly, like a bolt of lightning in the most unexpected time, place, and way. Life is wild. Love is wild. And God is absolutely wild. Those who are wild always reach enlightenment. Osho. Now, these are 10 bold messages, and you choose to bring them into your heart. Inhale the feeling of information so that it spreads out into every cell in your body. Let it sink deep into your being so that it becomes a way of exploring the world. You can make an affirmation out of it and make firm to yourself that this is now true for me in this moment of my life. So we'll go from 10 to 1. 10. Be open to the new and release your ego's need to be right about anything. You ever done that? The ego always wants to be right? So it kind of sucks us in to conflict and anger and frustration, disappointment. Being right can be the hardest ego trip to get off of, and yet causes a major amount of suffering. If the ego believes it is wrong about any one little thing, it starts feeling insecure that you basically could be wrong about everything in your entire life. Whatever the mind believes is true always becomes our reality in that moment. The colored lens you perceive your world with today becomes how the world tends to appear for you tomorrow. If everyone around you from birth to death says that life is this hard, painful, and unfair experience, and you believe them, then how will you ever learn how to relax, let go, trust, and enjoy living in this amazing universe? If we think we must fight to get what we want in this life, we end up manifesting a very serious, challenging ride. To experience love, enlightenment, and freedom, we must choose to step over our ego and be open to a completely new experience of life in each moment. Your inner and outer world is one massive playground. Learn how to be free and have fun within your life. Think of each new day as your chance to step on a very interesting and comical life stage. You can choose any hat to wear, lens to see through, or fascinating role you desire to play. 9. Let go of doing and practice. This is a tough one. Let go of doing and practice simply being. It has become abnormal for people to just relax. You notice that? It has become abnormal for people to just relax. Sit still. Be silent and alone. Do-aholics have become the social norm. Do-aholics have become the social norm. Many people avoid meditation because they think it is boring, don't have time for it, or feel they have failed at it, trying to quiet their mind after a few random attempts. When we realize that all of our suffering, chaos, and illness in this life is caused by our inability to quiet the mind, we will spend more time practicing being present and less. We will spend more time practicing being present and less invested in doing something, thinking it will take us somewhere better than being here now. Eventually, with enough time spent practicing being present to the now, we discover our real infinite nature inside. We realize we are spiritual beings and have everything we were looking for and so much more. The greatest mystics in history all discovered enlightenment when they were simply being quiet, relaxed, and fully in the here, now. When their big awakening happened, they were not trying to do anything. This is the great mystery of life. And mastery of the mind is by far the greatest achievement mankind will ever have. The experience of being here now, feeling one with the infinite, all-powerful and omniscient universal God force is enough. It is empowering and highly enlightening to redefine all those old definitions of what it means to get somewhere special in your life. 8, being free from our family's unconscious myths and society's deep ignorant programming. Being free from our family's unconscious myths and society's deep ignorant programming. When we were a child, what was communicated to us about enlightenment? Anything? Did anybody have a clue what enlightenment was or how to experience an enlightened state of bliss? Did anyone ever show you how to open your chakras, meditate, or communicate with God? Most likely, everyone around you was more or less spiritually lost and then telling you what they believed would make you happy, loved, and successful in this life. They wanted the best for you, yet ended up communicating to you how to be unhappy and unenlightened through their actions, belief system, and behavior. If you go back and think about your childhood, what do you remember was the typical standard story you were told that made you feel like a failure, isolated, unloved, or a sense of separation? What belief system did you inherit from your family that created massive limits on how you feel about yourself and life today? You may have heard some messages like, you need an education to become somebody. There just isn't enough time for that. We cannot afford that. You cannot be, do, or have X, Y, Z. You are just too much of a blah, blah, blah. Naturally, we are all very gullible as children, yet if we did not become identified with our family's limiting belief system, we may not be here. If we didn't think like they did, they might have stopped feeding us and pushed us out of the tribe. We needed to think small, do what we were told, and obey the one in charge in order to remain accepted, loved, and alive. From the moment we were born, we all received the idea that this enlightened, unenlightened state of life was the norm. Most people believe that. This unenlightened state is the norm. You may have seen all the insane world problems on the nightly TV, live streaming, internet, news, and thought that this was how the entire world operated and mass suffering was just the way things were. So as we become teenagers, we either rebelled or became assimilated into the unenlightened system. and fell deeper into the story of separation. The more we accepted or rebelled from our communities, the greater our feelings of lack, isolation, and struggle grew inside. Being surrounded by unenlightened people was an enormous lose-lose-lose situation. To make matters worse, we were forced to attend some jail-like education system, which worked about 3% of our brain's potentiality, was designed to churn once brilliant, creative kids through a social formatting grinder so they could become hard workers for the system. We were taught wonderful lies that everyone believed to be true, like how a human life expectancy should only be 75 to 100 years old, when really our DNA can last at least 300 years. We were told that we would have to work really hard to have a home, limited energy, resources, food, knowledge, and power. We were never taught to rebel against authority, think freely, independently, or even consider the possibility of becoming spiritually enlightened. The school system made it illegal to teach children how to find a deep interconnection with the infinite source. It was not important to learn how to meditate, heal your body through your breath, how to make tantric love, master your mind through total quietness and stillness, enjoy all our emotions, know the infinite truth of who we are, or how to achieve absolute inner freedom and bliss. The society all around us is still hypnotizing adults and their children to believe that success is all about achieving a higher level of status, money, and career. Our poor education system is still in its infancy and simply has never had a large dose of enlightenment, so it doesn't know any better. There are many awakened beings in the world today who know the truth, that real success in life is defined by how liberated, spiritually rich, loving, and enlightened you are as a human being. This world is slowly waking up, one person at a time. People are beginning to see that happiness is not something you can attain from striving to achieve the right income, status, career, marriage, or diploma. Striving to reach these things will only distract you from walking your spiritual path and discover the most rewarding life experience of them all. Remember, whatever limited ideas that you received from your family or school system were their limitations, not yours. Whatever limited ideas that you received from your family or school system were their limitations and not yours. When you stop and give back those beliefs, you can reclaim your spiritual freedom again within yourselves. The limiting beliefs handed down from your family run deep in your blood, and it will take every ounce of awareness inside you to see them. Freedom will occur when they are fully seen, felt into, and released from your mental, emotional body as well as your subconscious mind. We must choose to forgive all of these people of their unenlightened programming if we are ever to be fully free. It is all karmic and nobody is to blame. They simply were not taught by their parents how to live in a constant state of wonder and amazement in their lives while doing daily tasks like changing diapers, cutting the grass, going to work, and paying their bills. When we forgive them and see how they were not raised by fully self-realized, self-actualized, enlightened beings, we can easily forgive ourselves for the limiting beliefs and negative feelings about ourselves that we inherited. 7, Be outrageous and stop hiding from your spiritual power in some safe little fishbowl. We can often hide from our life mission and spiritual purpose in our mind. Thoughts are safe, while real life experience out there seems dangerous, scary, and unsafe. Life is inherently insecure because death is always potentially around the next corner. We might find it easier to not take risks and go for our big dreams in life for fear of getting hurt or lost in the wild ocean. When we only choose to stay safe, comfy, and basically dead inside our little comfortable fishbowls of old habits, we only do the things that once gave a sense of confidence and security and stop growing completely. You ever met people like that? Life is this beautiful natural chaos with a divine cosmic structure. Our lives are this daily adventurous roller coaster ride that we need to learn how to enjoy. Life is meant to be fun because you just don't know exactly how things will turn out. You won't know until the last second how you will respond to what someone says or how you'll make the most important decision you need to make. Each experience in your life is here for your spiritual growth. Each boring, exciting, or normal experience is meant to expand you, help you see and feel the entire ocean around you. And yes, jump out of your safe little fishbowl and swim in the ocean of existence. It's easy to do. Simply stop thinking about your life. Stop thinking about it. And actually start enjoying the one you're living, feeling, breathing, and now. 6, embracing and loving every fear that arises. Embracing and loving every fear that arises. The less fear we are holding in the body, because we know we're not the body. We're not the mind, we're not the character, we're not the personality, we're not our belongings, we're not our status in this life. We are the God. The more we can relax and open ourselves up to experiencing a more expansive, enlightened state of consciousness, all fears are simply emotionally contracted thoughts invented by a mind that still believes it is disconnected from the source. It's good to know that the word fear, we know very well, actually stands for false evidence appearing real. It's false. It isn't real. To transcend any fear, first discover what you're deeply afraid of. That's number one. Discover what it is you're deeply afraid of. You can access any fear by opening yourself up to another person intimately in conversation, letting the other peer into you. And soon you'll be able to see deeper into yourself and understand exactly what you are running from in your life. Once you know what you are running away from, run towards it and welcome it into your heart with a big embrace. This approach will dissolve any fear instantly, and in time it will be completely released from your body. The more practice you have in embracing your fears, the easier it becomes to find total relaxation so that you can access your full spiritual connection within your consciousness. And 5, stop trying to continuously improve or fix yourself. Stop trying to continuously improve or fix yourself. This may seem contradictory to the previous message, yet it's actually complementary. How often do you find yourself trying to replace your negative thoughts and feelings with positive ones? How much of your life has been spent trying to heal yourself or your mind? Is all the effort and energy you're putting into improving you actually making you relax into the experience that you are already divine, already sacred, deeply lovable, and already connected to the God source? The result from continuously fixing, improving, and healing yourself is perpetuating the feeling of, I am not okay exactly as I am. The feeling of, I am not okay exactly as I am. Any unconscious self-improvement habit is just another egoic dis-ease. The real problem is not what it appears to be. Go to the root of the matter, which is this dualistic mind, and uproot the entire I am broken and need to be fixed emotional program. Realize that who you are is neither these negative or positive thoughts, yet the consciousness and awareness behind them. Only through pure awareness will any of us be able to stop the habit of trying to change, fix, and improve ourselves, and instead surrender deeply into the spiritual sacred core of our being, where self-realization is. 4, enjoying the practice of quieting the incessant chattering and repetitive mind. Enjoying the practice of quieting the incessant chattering and repetitive mind. The mind is a limited conglomeration of ideas and beliefs about who we think we are and what reality is. It behaves much like a computer that is unaware of itself and just spits out information that was programmed into it. The mind is like a machine, so it is not conscious. The mind is a horrible master and a wonderful servant. We need to train the mind so that we can use it instead of being used by it. It cannot remain in the present moment. It must keep moving with ideas that engage the past and future to remain in control of you. When we quiet the mind, we regain control of it. Still the mind, master the mind. The more we can practice paying attention to the stillness and silence that is behind the chattering mind, the less power the mind has over you, and the less you'll get trapped in your limited ego or identity. The word ego is really just an acronym for excluding God's omnipresence. Ego is really just an acronym for excluding God's omnipresence. Through the constant awareness of our egos, we can bypass the mind and access this omnipresent divine spiritual energy inside of us. We can discover our natural enlightened state. We become spiritual energy and we become aligned with the bigger truth that we are already our infinite spiritual beings who have been given the gift of a limited physical human expression with illusionary challenges that make us grow. When the mind is quiet, we can enjoy this divine play and find real peace with the entire dynamic. We find full acceptance that we are both the ego and the spirit and know all is perfect as it is. 3, releasing all attachments and aversions to everyone and everything. Releasing all attachments and aversions to everyone and everything. As humans, we tend to get attracted and attached to or avoid certain thoughts and feelings we believe will make us happy or unhappy. We get into habits of resisting life and trying to control our experiences so that we get what we think will only bring us joy and avoid what makes us unhappy. We even create these patterns based on what others say, feel, and believe, and ignore our own inner voice and connection. This attachment and avoidance habit manifests because deep down we feel disconnected from our spiritual source. We are still trying to find some form of security by controlling our reality. When we were young, we saw others avoiding what is painful and remaining attached to what is pleasurable, and believed this is how it should be. We saw others avoiding what is painful and remaining attached to what is pleasurable, and believed that this is how it should be done. The enlightened state shows up when we listen to our hearts and stop being attached to or avoiding anything. When we understand that this life is like a pendulum, designed to swing and give us both experiences of pain and pleasure, we can transcend them both. By accepting this natural pendulum swing, we become free from being the one who always needs to be in control and running the show. Pain and suffering, we all know that, are just the universe's way of telling us to let go. Let go. Let go and trust the flow. The purpose of feeling pain is not to create more suffering. That's not it. Let go and trust the flow. The purpose of feeling pain is not to create more suffering. Yet, for you to wake up, for any of us to wake up and create an immediate new life change, this change is necessary for us to evolve and eventually drop all identity with our ego trips so we can return to our spiritual source. By allowing ourselves to let go of our mind's attachments and aversions, we can genuinely enjoy our lives again. We then start energetically communicating to the universe that we are abundant, thankful, happy, beautiful, and free. The experience allows us to expand into consciousness, deepen our connection to our infinite source inside. 2, being free from the illusion that you're separate from the infinite source of love, energy, and connection. Being free from the illusion that you are separate from the infinite source of love, energy, and connection. Feeling separate and disconnected from our universe is the unenlightened state. We become enlightened when we are continuously aware how deeply and intimately connected we already are. The illusion of separation is not an accident or a coincidence. The universe is extremely intelligent. Every feeling of separation is needed so that coming spiritually home is that much more amazing. The polarization of separation, unification, breeds a truly juicy, alive, and incredible experience of this life. When we become enlightened, we will see the full illusion and know how to stop manifesting another experience of loss, failure, or separation again. The illusion that we are not connected to the divine is karmic. It stems from lifetimes of our mind's attachment and avoidance of limiting ideas of who and what we think we are. Once we untangle ourselves from our fun, sticky karmic mass, we will remember that we were always one energy, one sea of consciousness, and always connected with our source. All experiences of suffering simply drop away when we pay closer attention to who we truly are. All suffering comes from a lack of awareness of our divinity. Once we stop forgetting our eternal abundant nature, we begin stepping forward into a life overflowing with synchronicity, ease, grace, love, and knowing our divine, unlimited nature. Waking up is as simple and easy as remembering that the sun is always on, always bright, and always shining somewhere. And one, know that who you truly are is already awake, enlightened, loving, and free. Know that who you truly are is already awake, enlightened, loving, and free. When it comes down to it, we already have everything we need inside us to experience all the love, joy, and happiness we could ever desire. All efforting to get anywhere better than here is simply divine misguidance. The universe is already amazing. You are already amazing. And this moment is totally amazing. By sitting in awe of this amazingness that is already here now, we wake up to the spiritual immensity of our being. We suddenly stop playing small, end all of our suffering, and continuously step into the vastness of our totality. The pathway into enlightenment is a perpetual journey into the now. This wonderful yet treacherous journey involves getting to know ourselves very intimately, gently, and spiritually. When we break free from the hard, cold, calculating mind, we realize who we truly are is love itself. We then find out our life's spiritual mission and sole purpose is to radiate this love everywhere we are. When we know our real nature is the divine itself, we become desireless, selfless, and effortlessly remember how to deeply, intimately, and infinitely connected we are. And we already are to the spiritual source inside us all. So if you will, go to a place where you're not going to be interrupted. I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do, this is the first step to mastery. Relax the body your God that you are is in. Relax the body through the breath. Easy, slow breath in through the nose. Easy, slow breath out through the mouth. This is what breathing does for us. It moves us into meditation. It focuses us, and it definitely relaxes the body. Because you've left the mind alone. You've left the ego alone. You've left the subconscious mind alone. You're only in the now. And they don't exist in the now. They will do everything they can to keep you either in the past or the future. Future, past, past, future, future, past, past, future, and so on. Why do you think so many people on this planet suffer? A lot. The now is the breath. To know and to commit to yourself. To be gentle, kind, generous, and humble at all times with yourself. To be in the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest, deepest, and the purest of the purest, purest. Eternal gratitude with yourself. Because, see, we put out, each of us, 60,000 plus thoughts a day. 24/7, we're constantly kicking them out. We create our thoughts and they go out, right? And we send them to the universe, and a lot of the times we don't even know we send them to the universe. When you sit around all day and you're telling people what you don't want, I kid you not, the universe will give it to you. And then people wonder why they have all these challenges come into their lives. It's how you think is what creates your life. That's it. Now, we also have billions of thoughts that fly by like clouds in the sky. Are they our thoughts? No. When a thought comes in, it isn't your thought, right? And these thoughts you might as well just call programs. Now, obviously, we all go into the now. Do we stay there? No, not yet. Some of us can only stay there for 30 seconds. Some 10 seconds or less. Because here we got all those thoughts. We grab onto one of the clouds and we float on by. And the key thing is to say, I'm not in the now, so the way I will go back into the now, I'll stay in the now, is to focus on my breath. And when you focus on your breath, 3,000% of the time, which is every time, you're in the now. So it's a practice. It's a commitment. It's our choice, right? I mean, goodness, we sure did commit to lifetime after lifetime exploring the external physical material world, didn't we? Don't you think it's time that we go within? Now, we all have this illusion at times, some more than others, some less, of separation. I'm separate from you, you're separate from me, I'm separate from the tree, tree's separate from me, and on and on and on. Okay? But we're not. Because we don't identify ourselves with the body, we identify ourselves with the gods that we are. For instance, you're standing in front of 3 pathways. You look down, you're standing on this shimmering gold pad or circle, whatever you want to call it. You look to your left, you see a path, which is the past. And you look to your right, which is another path, which is to the future. And the one you notice you're standing on is the now. Now, you notice how the trees have formed a golden canopy over each path. Leaves and the branches and the bark and everything. It's absolutely stunning. And the pathway itself is a brilliant emerald green flaming grass. It appears to be grass. You do notice, though, that the one on the left, the path, really worn, really, really worn. Same with the one on the right, the future. Really, really, really worn. Why is that? And the one you're standing on now looks pristine. Because the ego mind keeps us out of the now. That's it. It keeps us out of the now all the time. Have you practiced? I bet you all of you practice being in the now. What's difficult about it? Well, the ego mind, you're so used to being mastered by the ego mind that it takes you out of there. And there's a lot of things that can distract us. So we reminisce, right? In fact, we have a great hall, each of us, subconscious mind. And we reminisce. Could be any time. You could be just walking or sitting, reading, laughing. And then this feeling comes over you of an experience you had in the past. And it was wonderful, and you enjoyed it. So you reminisce with it. I'd really like to do that again. Boy, was that fun. And we also use the past for reference purposes. We actually dip it into our subconscious minds that records everything, plays back everything. And, we say, well, I did this way. It didn't work then. I'm going to try a different way to see if it'll work. Now, we'll go in. We'll open the door. We'll walk in, turn the light on. And, when you walk into a room, you immediately look at the walls and the ceiling. It's just automatic. You don't look down when you walk into a place. But this place, your great hall, is so vast that you can't see the walls or the ceiling. It's collected everything. Everything from the baby body all the way to now, and continues to do it and store it. Not only that, all your lifetimes are stored. You just don't know how to access them yet. All of them. Some people won't access them because they're afraid of what they'll see, the life that they used to have, or one of the lives that they have been in. They're scared. No, I don't really care to know my past lives. Others, yeah, some of them get a real rude awakening to find out what they did or who they were in the past life, how they acted, how they treated others. So we'll go in there and we'll pick up some books and some movies and some pictures, and we go sit in our easy chair. We got a screen in front of us, and we watch some of the movies, read some of the books, look at some of the pictures, and we have a good time. But we don't stay there. We don't. We'll put everything away, turn off the light, shut the door, and move forward in life. And on occasion, we'll revisit. But there are some of us that unconsciously will stay there so long that they end up bringing the past into a future that doesn't exist. They create that future from that past, and they relive that past in that future. And these are people that will say, no matter what we do, we always end up here. Now, we all go into the future because you know why? Because the ego mind keeps poking us. Get in there. Come on, you got to find this out. You got to know. Well, you got to go find out. Get in there. Take that path. So we do. But we look for answers. Don't you look for answers? You want answers to your questions. You're hurried. You're frustrated. Might be a little miffed at times. You know, like, why is this happening to me? And, you know, when am I going to have enough money to enjoy my life? When am I going to be well enough to enjoy my life? You know, when am I going to meet my lifelong romantic partner? When is this going to happen? When am I going to have this? And when am I going to get this? And so we will seek external authorities. And external authorities, so these are people that give you are hoping for answers, right? And you want to know about your future. So you have tarot cards, you've got astrologers, you've got tea leaf readers, palm readers, you've got psychics, clairvoyants. You got a lot of different people. And they do their best to give whatever information they can find through their practices. So when they have their practices and they give that to you, we all respond differently to it. You know, some people just say, that's a bunch of bunk. I don't believe it. And other people will say, there might be something to this. So I'm going to believe it. And then there's others that will say, this is just phenomenal, but they get really super attached, and they grab expectations, and they get attachment to the end result, say, the outcome. So they push it away. That's what happens. But then the middle group, they believe it, and the true way is that you look at it, and you say, that'll be great. That's how I see it. Boom. It doesn't matter when, how, where. I know it's going to happen. I leave it alone. I have trust and faith in myself and the universe. And a lot of times it manifests. But see, our futures are created in the now. That's where we really, truly create our futures. Now, obviously, we don't know every single thing about our futures. Boy, wouldn't that be boring? It'd be a novelty at first. Wow, this is great. I know everything's going to happen. And then after a while, it would get really old. Believe me, it would get very old. And there would be no surprises. Nothing. So this is why we manifest our futures. We create them in the now, and we leave parts of them the unknown. And don't get fooled, because you're creating. No one else is. You are. So we're part of so many, but you see, we got the physical bodies, right? which confuses us because, we touch and feel and we say, wow, this is what I am. I'm this body. No. But we have parts of ourselves, the gods that we are, and archangels, cherubim, seraphim archetypes who are a civilization that vibrates at a different frequency than we do. And so we don't see them like we see each other. You could take an object, you can accelerate its molecular structure so that as you're watching it, right, it disappears. Because your eyes can't see it at such a high vibration. Can't see it. It just literally will disappear in front of you. Is it still there? Yes, but not within your ability to see it. So that's the archangels, the gods in their bodies are the same as the gods in our body. And they're always trying to wake us up because they know we have a form of amnesia, which we don't remember who and what we are. We don't remember we're the God in the body. See? So they always will send us messages and everything. And one of them is, isn't it absolutely magna glorious to be alive in these bodies? And it is. And it is blissful. Because I'll tell you right now, even though we don't have a comparison, we choose to rediscover when you're a ball of light, pure love light energy, omnipotently powerful. You don't have eyes, okay? You don't have heart, lungs, kidney, liver. You don't have a tongue, teeth. You can't taste. You don't eat. You don't sleep. You don't make love. You don't kiss. You don't hold hands. You don't cry. You don't do any of that. You don't see with these eyes. So can you imagine, right? How many gods really want to get a body? Because it's so phenomenal to be in a physical body. So why isn't everybody happy on the planet? Frolicking and just having a great time. Because, number one, they don't know who and what they are. Number two, they don't know that they are the God, literally, and they're asleep. They think they're the body. And the bad thing, it's just a discovery that we make eventually. Because each of us will eventually. We all will. We're all one. The gods that we are, we will discover again who and what we are. Now there's all kinds of labels, isn't there? There's, we've got off-worlders, celestials, galactics. We've got different species in humanoid form mostly. Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, felines, Zeta Reticuli, Nords, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Anunnaki, Golden Pyramid, Avian. These are all different bodies, physical forms, but the gods in them are the same as the gods in us, and we are one. Period. That's it. The separation thing is ego mind. And see, parts of ourselves guide and teach other parts of ourselves as the gods that we are. See, it's like a baby that discovers it has hands, right? And then it learns what it can do with those hands by others teaching it. Just by viewing, watching. It's like all the civilizations on, in, above, and below this planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it. regard to hollow earth, inner earth, beneath earth. Their gods within their bodies are the same as our gods within our bodies, and we're all one. You see the lesson here with us is to discover who and what we are so that we can then discover that we're all one. And stop judging the suits we're wearing as being us. We have light energy beings, and those light energy beings we don't see with the eyes that we have with these bodies. They're in different light spectrums: infrared, red, violet, ultraviolet, super green, super blue. It goes on and on and on. They're there. They come in all kinds of shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations. And we get familiar because we learn. That's what we do all the time. And we have, like groups that we can identify with that we think are fairy tales, that they're not. Fairies, sprites, elves, gnomes, dwarves, trees, trolls, elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, mermaid, dolphin, whale, Pegasus, unicorn, centaur, minotaur, and there's a lot of others that names haven't even been used on this planet. Or do they have a name? Now we choose. Now we either choose consciously or unconsciously. A lot of us will choose unconsciously. Now, do you think or believe that they said masters when they were in physical form? Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, Amoria, Medantia, Pelthot, Yahweh, Yeshua. Were they any different than us? No. But they discovered things because they practiced being within rather than without. Now the bodies, right? The suits, they mastered. And they hold pure consciousness, God form right now. We haven't mastered the physical. When you master the physical, you know you're not the physical. Just like mastering the ego mind, you know you're not the ego mind. But we're in the process of doing it. So what do? We create our experiences to perfect our creations. So we eventually will master the physical. Now we're here to liberate this planet, right? All of us have the same path. We just take different directions at times. We always end up on the same path anyway. And the first part of that path is to rediscover who and what we are. And to know that we're one, the gods that we are within these bodies. So when you begin to realize that, so parts of the gods that we are everywhere. And all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Okay? We're not separate. That's how vast the one is. So, complete elimination of lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, corrupted souls, twisted pure evil. Boom. That's what we're doing here. Different ways, each of us different ways, but that's what we're doing here. That's why all of us are on this meditation. And we're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one. We're all God. We're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It continues to grow, intensify, and expand. We're saturating, permeating, and flooding this planet. Because we are pure, deep, eternal love. We're made from it. We're of it. The gods that we are in these bodies. There's no escape, and there's no turning back. Now, we form a white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. Now, it emanates from the gods that we are. It's pure, deep, eternal love. And again, saturating, flooding, permeating this planet. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe. It is so bright it grays out the darkness of sacred space. You could take 1 trillion suns, put them all together, put all the suns together, right? You take the light that we are, and those suns would pale in comparison. So we begin to move up above the planet. As we do, we're immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. It is a depiction to identify things. And the massive ocean of glitter, how do we describe it? Well, there's nothing like it on this planet. So we take things that we've experienced, like a grand finale fireworks display, a grand finale laser light show, and a ballroom mirrored globe that you shine light on floods the whole room. So we intensify them all. And so trillion times larger. And we combine them all into one massive crescendo and one burst of light. I mean, it's so spectacular that it is indescribable. Gets us real near to the definition and depicting the ocean of glitter. And so when we look at it, we notice all these reflective points, and of course, they're everywhere. And so we notice that there are little tiny microscopically, perfectly etched mirrors. We enter them, we discover all of us, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, forever, are teaching each other and learning from each other. Infinity and beyond. A real easy example is that you can take 2 trees on this planet alone. You look at an oak tree, right? And you look at a bamboo tree. Now, the oak tree, which has a God within it, experiencing the physical form of that oak tree, as well as the bamboo tree. Now, in a wind, heavy wind, storm, right? The bamboo tree will just bend back and forth. It gives, bends, and lets go, and does well. The oak tree teaches us strength, firmness, solid foundation, powerful. But it will bend a bit, but it resists the bend. So it will teach you how to be in certain situations. And the bamboo tree will teach you how to be in certain situations. It's learning. See? What would happen if the majority of us on this planet embraced that? Right? Not the material world or physical world, but embraced what we are and that which we are within these bodies. How do you think the planet would be? It would be magna glorious. It would absolutely be. There would not be room for any lower frequencies. Wouldn't be any room for it. Dogs teach you. Cats teach you. Moose, cow, wherever you may be. Bees. You ever just been walking along on a spring day, and all of a sudden, You know, I don't know if maybe you've experienced this. Oh, the dragonfly will just sit there and fly right in front of you, hover, and stare at you. And it kind of flips off, comes right back. You ever been walking and noticed that sometimes, not just because it's flying by, but a butterfly will fly around you. And you go, and then it disappears, but you start noticing the butterfly. And when you're within, you look at the butterfly as an extension of the God that you are. Because there's life energy that allows that body of that butterfly to use its wings, stay airborne, cross-pollinate. These are all things that we miss because we're so distracted on this planet. We're so distracted. But going within, the clarity and the focus is super bright and sharp. Now we create columns of light. And the columns of light remind us the gods that we are. We have to remind it because we have this amnesia and we're coming out of it. So we remind ourselves. So it's like Archangel Raphael, he carries a column of brilliant emerald green flaming healing light. We created this to remind us, the gods that we are, that we're the power of healing. You got Archangel Michael. He carries a column of light, a violet, blue, purple flaming light. And that's there to remind us, the gods that we are, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. And then we have a white light, flaming light. And this is to remind us that we are protected from head to toe, inside and out. And it emanates from the gods that we are, the pure love, highest of the highest high frequencies. So lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, demons, attachments, can't be around us. When we maintain that type of frequency of pure, deep, eternal love, they have to stay away. So we're always protected. But see, you, each of us, only you are the one that has the power to remove that frequency, to lower yourself. And the way you would do it, consciously or unconsciously, is through hatred, anger, fear, greed, revenge, envy, hurriedness, dishonesty, manipulation, deception, worry, stress, fear. And I'll guarantee you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor. Enough so where all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, demons come flooding in, and then it opens up all kinds of avenues of attachment and harassment and all kinds of things. But you see, we create these lights, these columns of lights, to remind us. This double column of light, when you do decide to do that, it immediately appears, and the first part of it is the purple transmuting flame. And we created this so it reminds us, we can bring in a purple transmuting flame, we can cleanse, literally transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, demons, attachments. And they become neutral light. And we send them to pure consciousness where they are no more. Then we have the second part of this column of light, which is the violet ray. We created this to remind us again, the gods that we are. We can bring in the violet ray. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in a white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. Now, we're met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light, the gods that we are created to remind us all that we are the sun, the sunlight, the rain, the rainbows. We are the sunset and the sunrise. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We are the trees and forests. We are the clouds and the skies. We're everything. The animals, mountains, and everything is us. Always has been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. But we're so used to living in the material physical world outside of ourselves. We will look at a sunset and we will say, that is beautiful. That is gorgeous. And it is, because it's the God that you are in that body. So when we go within and through the heart mind, not the head, not the ego mind, we look at that same view and say, that is the God that I am. Whole shift, big change, good change. Now, we continue to ascend above the planet. We come into full contact with this crystalline light tower. We created this tower, larger than the solar system and beyond. We notice inside the column of the tower is this massive oblong sphere. Inside the sphere is this humongous golden white ball of light. Right? It, in turn, is surrounded by numerous multicolored rings of light. They seem to go to infinity and beyond. Now, we discover that the golden white ball of light and these rings and the sphere create this massive, super bright white cloud, flickering, sparkling, massive. And it's absorbed through our heart minds, and it feels like a warm embrace that never ends. Now, the golden white ball of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest eternal love. Then comes gratitude, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive prosperity, and massive abundance. And all of this, we discover the gods that we are is a reflection of the gods that we are within these bodies. Now, at the top of this column, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, infinity and beyond, as it does. The golden ocean is pure, deep, eternal love. It is constantly, infinity beyond, flooding, saturating, permeating this planet, all life, the highest supreme value in the universes. It doesn't end. We are all drops of this golden ocean. We're also the essence. We hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere at set center circle. We all created this sphere over 4 years ago. It holds nearly 1,900 of our meditations in perpetual motion, which continue to grow, intensify, and expand. Hundreds of millions of us on and off world focused on this planet's complete liberation. How phenomenal is that? With pure, deep, eternal love. That's why this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever, continues to grow, intensify, and expand. Now, you can literally move into this and witness the most spectacular, massive liberation of any planet. We create this golden white pink field in the atmosphere. And you see all the dark, lower dark matter, survival matter, frequency, goop, AI goop, all of it. Corrupted, twisted, pure evil. And it's evaporating from the planet in this field. And you see it as it comes into the field, it starts flashing because pieces of it are disintegrating. And look everywhere. And you see the sky we created into this golden white pink light. And you can see that. You don't see through it. And as any remnants of this goop that makes it through the atmosphere and up to the sky, in one flash is completely vanished, disintegrated. And that's what's happening on this planet. And that's why all lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, corrupted souls, pure twisted evil, are so revealed. So revealed. All the great enlightened beings of this world became that way because they deeply understood one basic thing. Their eternal connection to a divine source is and who they really are. Take a few minutes to give yourselves permission to understand this for yourselves, because you are an enlightened being waiting to realize it today. I'll join you in the meditation and return to close us out. take an easy, slow breath in through the nose and an easy, slow breath out of the mouth. Be still. Certain negative events will always happen to us to cause us to take a glimpse at a bigger reality. If we can look at them with eyes wide open, we will always notice one thing. We actually created these challenging and frightening events to give us an experience of coming home. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We will return here tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our TFCC calls. And Thursday, June 2nd, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.